being an activist for my own cause and Black Lives Matter, I didn't take the interest in it as early as most people would have because I didn't see the big picture. I was very fortunate. The white people around me were great. You and your family being one of them, and the school experience that I had outside of some jokes about not being black enough or you're not really black, and attempts at humor, really at stereotypes and everything. They do make sense. Sometimes they hurt, but really it just kind of toughens you up and thickens your skin. But all of those factors really over the long run, because the thing about jokes is that there's almost always a little bit of truth to them, and that's why they sting. So if that continues to be the case throughout your upbringing into your young adulthood, and then you see it later, the ability to pull together is weakened by that, and it would be much better if we could have less division and more unity, which is a very contrived thing, just a platitude, if you will. But we do it by being divided. It just increases these negative forces that are preventing us from moving forward. Like right now, there is just too much division. There's too many things that we're arguing about, when in reality, there's way more in common amongst all of us, all different colors, sexes, everything, then there are differences. But unfortunately, we always are harping on those differences. And of course, race tends to be a part of that, both between black and white, within the black community, and then within other communities as well. I said before, I never really took black activism probably the way that I should have, not really identifying myself as much of the black person that I am. And what that was a result of white people making the joke, oh, you're not really black. Black people saying the same thing, oh, you're not really black. Those same people that made those comments, the hurtful comments, but at other times they put their arm around me. They would be supportive in different ways. But what those comments do is they tend to bring you down. What black activism does now, as I've thought about it a lot more in recent days than in before, is it kind of helps build you up. So as long as that black activism is very positive in bringing people together, I mean, a white person saying to a black person, you're not really black, and it's a double put down, because a lot of times white people are viewing black people as being less, and then they say you're not even that, so you're less than less. It's a pretty offensive thing to do as a joke, but these little things over time, they do tear you down. And supporting black-owned business is something that I'm actually become very proud of and fond of. So I'm trying to research and gather more information so that way I can help. So the website I'm doing, I'm black, so I'm getting the ability to do that, and I'm putting a focus on reaching out to other black people and see if we can all work together and grow our businesses, because growing our businesses is the best way to help out our family. Helping out our family is, the first thing before you help out friends. And then, black people tend to be more friends, and, their friends tend to be black. So that's a great way to help the community while also helping the economy. So that's been a new focus of mine. I think supporting black business is, obviously it's going to help myself, but it's going to help the economy. And then the only other thing I'll reference on that finally, because I think there's such a similarity now between black activism and supporting black business, that there was a 538 study about the economy, and it was meant to bring up the positive. Like, we've had unemployment growth for so long that we've added jobs now, which is taking the unemployment number down a little bit. However, they did point out that, within the African American community, we've had increased unemployment still. So we're widening the gap between the black community and then all of the others. So it wasn't just white, we have Asian community, Hispanic, so on and so forth. But that kind of stuck to me. I was like, wow, so this really could help. So if we're able to find a way to truly promote black businesses, it'll help offset, because a lot of the people that I've seen, like business owners that have had their businesses rioted, I mean, nail salons, barbershops, sports bar, I've seen 3 different people, and they're all black. And that's not. I know protesters and rioters are two different people entirely, but it's very unfortunate that Black-owned businesses are being affected disproportionately. It seems, because the stories that I see are Black business owners. So we have to try to turn that around as best we can. What I did specifically for this was I furthered what I was already doing independently. So independently, what I started to do was I relocated for a job from Florida to California for a little while. And I didn't know as much about California as I did because I was born in California, moved to Georgia, and was pretty much raised through high school in Georgia. That's where, we interacted and were friends and played basketball and everything else. But and going back to California to do some research. So what I did was I followed the local news stations out in the Los Angeles area, the Southern California area. I still followed the Florida, Orlando markets, and I followed Atlanta. I didn't follow New York per se at that time, but I also followed CNN and Fox News. And actually, I'll be honest, I did not follow Fox News at the time. I've kind of skewed more towards the right in my posts, but I also don't like being identified as Republican or Democrat. I would much prefer to look at the issue by itself. Just because you're on one side on one issue does not mean you should go completely column. So yes, and so I wasn't Fox News and on the right side of a lot of source of my information, but over time I realized I need that side for balance. I need to see a article that's on the same topic and how CNN covers it versus Fox News covering it. And what I've been able to identify, and I'll toot my own horn a little bit, is I feel like when I read information, I'm able to pull out the sentences and the comments that are truly valuable and not opinion based or not designed to incite a feeling or emotion. Because when we get this feeling or emotion, then we start making less rational decisions. So for essential news discussion, when I decided I was going to do that here about a month ago, I went to CNN Politics, Fox News Business, Fox News, MSNBC, Forbes, Wall Street Journal, just a combination of those. And I kind of start my day to make sure I'm able to post something. And I kind of go through what is the most interesting to me, post that on the essential news discussion. Typically, I like to try to add a comment for context and, see what kind of interaction that gets. And I think that's helped me grow in my understanding. And it's led to maybe some conspiracy theory like thinking. And that's only from the standpoint or labeling that people give it, but I would call it independent thinking. And here's my final thought on that for conspiracy theory. I want to keep talking about other stuff, but if don't be afraid to leave it open-ended, because whenever I start on, they just want us locked in our homes for coronavirus, like they're trying to tank the economy, or they don't care about this, that, and the other. They're like, oh, well, why do they want that? They try to force you to say something like, oh, they're trying to lock you in your home 5G towers. And you didn't say anything about that. You're just acknowledging the honest truth. Like, they want us locked in our home. Maybe it's for our own safety. But anytime the government in the past has said they were doing something for the safety of a person, that typically wasn't the 100% truth. So independently thinking, don't be afraid to leave a conspiracy theory open. You can't know what the end goal is for a group of powerful people, a powerful person. All you can do is identify what's going on. And so my favorite analogy was, if you're walking in an alley in New York City and somebody comes up with a gun and they're robbing you, they say, give me your wallet. You don't try to figure out, well, what are you going to do with it? No, you just have to identify the reality of the situation and take proper steps. If you're getting robbed and you feel like giving your wallet will keep you safe, give your wallet so that way you can stay safe. That's what's most important. And you don't have to try to figure out that next step. And so independent thinking is good. And if you realize what's going around you doesn't make any sense, then you should start trying to alert people of that. And maybe you can bring people together so you can stop the thing that doesn't make sense and start doing things that make more sense.